only elected the next guy, which I'm forgetting. Could have been Taft. And then Taft is okay. But
extremely fat guy. Didn't he die in a bathtub?
No, he got stuck
Something
in the
about
bathtub.
him in a tub.
Didn't he get stuck? He gets stuck and had to get buttered out of the tub.
Yeah.
And that takes us to Wilson. Because then Taft ran against Wilson. Roosevelt decides he wants to come back.
And Wilson was New
the
Jersey governor of New Jersey or something?
I don't know. This is where I stopped.
Wilson is, I don't know much about him, except for me, like some of the sources for what I know about these guys come from different places. So what I know about Wilson is because I read this book about, it was called The Peace to End All Peace, a book that everybody should read. And it's about how World War I, the end of World War I was how all the Middle Eastern countries were drawn. Iraq and Iran and Syria and all these places only exist because of British and American and French. These are lines these are countries. That's why we don't have like Kurdistan. There's no Kurdistan, but there's Kurdish people.
Yeah.
But they just didn't have a place at that table. So we just made Iraq. Iraq is a bunch of different people that don't belong in a country.
What's it called? It's the something. It's two names. It's whatever. But yeah, it was colonization. They just were like,
the treaty and whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
But anyway, World War I was this just bizarre, stupid. Until World War I, Europe was still all kings and princes, and there was still a country called Prussia, and there was guys that went with like helmets with brushes on the top, and they marched around, and he was like the prince of, and it was still the whole, and they had some budding democracy, but they still gave it an enormous amount of power to their stupid fucking
to one family.
Yes,
they were all related.
Yes, and they were all married to each other. Yes.
The leaders of World War I were cousins.
Kaiser Wilhelm was an uncle to Nicholas Tsar, who finally lost Russia.
Yeah.
And so they fought this ridiculous war and now they suddenly had this mechanized, they had machine guns.
Yeah.
Some of this shit was developed here during the Civil War. And they just start firing crazy weapons at each other, artillery.
Yeah.
And the U.S. But the thing about that war was the Middle East. It was the Turkish Ottoman Empire,
the Ottoman Empire
was falling apart, and all of these European countries wanted a piece of what was going to be there. I think they had started to figure out that oil was in the Middle East. I don't have all this worked out in my head, but Wilson refused to get into the war because he knew it was an imperialist bullshit. And at the time, America was against going out and sending troops other places for imperialism was something America hated because it still wasn't that long ago that we were a colony. So we finally did enter World War I, and I don't know why.
It was hard for the U.S. to enter because half the population's German. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Half's Irish.
Yes.
They fucking hated England.
Yes.
All this. And then I think it was like the Lusitania. They
I
just kept doing all these.
Those things are always bullshit. I don't know what finally pushed us.
I think the Lusitania did have weapons on it.
Well, we were selling weapons. We were probably making money on the war. But when we entered the war, we didn't fight in the Middle East. We're the only allied country that we didn't send any troops.
We made up for it, though. Later.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah, we didn't get any.
But that was our position back then. We had there was a morality to what we did, at least politically. Not economically, we never cared.
Sure.
Because those levers were handled by industry, not by the government. Anyway, I don't know that. I'm getting way out of my depth.
No,
but I don't know that much about Wilson. So then
I don't either.
Who's after Wilson?
Wilson after Wilson would be... I'll tell you. Hold on. Harding.
Don't know. Don't care.
Harding was... he was corrupt. He was really corrupt, and that started leading to fucking whatever.
Then
Coolidge, same thing.
Yeah.
I was just watching shit on these guys. Who cares?
Yeah.
This is the Roaring '20s, though. Yeah. So shit's going well financially.
Yeah, they had their pandemic during all those guys, by the way.
And these guys are all corrupt.
Yes.
And it's just out of control. The economy's out of control, but everything... And this is post-World War I.
So who's after Coolidge?
Coolidge is Hoover. after Hoover.
Right, Herbert Hoover.
And then that's shit starting to turn around a little. And then here comes FDR.
Okay, so FDR, like again, my approach is always who these guys were as people, and my favorite take on FDR is what's his name, Churchill's. So I read this book, Churchill and it's called Franklin and Winston, about their relationship.
Yeah,
Churchill was a nerd. He was a fat English drunk nerd, and he was a lord. He was a little Lord Fauntleroy nerd. Now, Franklin Roosevelt was also a rich kid.
Yeah, he was a nerd.
He was a nerd, but he was also really dedicated to the people. And he did a lot of things like up here in upstate New York. He had Hyde Park, and there's all these massive estates, Hyde Park, and the Vanderbilts lived next door. And he gave when he became president, he gave Hyde Park to the country. He said, you just let it be a museum for a time when people lived like this. And he persuaded his next door neighbors, the Vanderbilts, to do the same. He got all the upstate rich people. He said, move into the city and give these places, let these be places for the people to visit. So that's the kind of guy he was. But so Winston Churchill worshipped Roosevelt. He just thought he was the coolest. He was Americans came off really cool back then, and Churchill was like this, very And so there's a few intimate stories that are great about the two of them. One of them, Winston came to Hyde Park to plead the case, please come into the war, because Franklin wasn't coming into the war. So he spent like a night in Hyde Park, and they talked, and it was Churchill's feeling like for the first time that Franklin maybe liked him. And so the moment that's in this book is that he was in his car, Churchill, at night, and FDR was seeing him off. He was like at the window of his car, and Churchill said, "Franklin, I feel so good to have really spent time with you, and I feel a connection with you." And Roosevelt said, Take it easy. He said, just take it easy. And then the other one, and he just hurt his feelings. Then the other great thing was at Yalta, the conference at Yalta, where
this is good.
FDR and
Stalin.
Churchill are trying to get Stalin to come into the war on the Allied. He could have come in on either side. It was a toss-up, or he could have stayed out. But a Russian front to the war was everything. It turned out to be everything.
Yeah.
The same thing that happened it's what killed Napoleon, because Russia is just this deep forest, and anybody who invades Russia just gets absorbed and then stuck for the winter. Yeah. It killed Napoleon, and it eventually took Hitler. It's not where they lose, but it's where they drains. Okay.
Yeah.
So Churchill is like the European statesman. He's the one who's been fighting the war longer, and he's been mechanizing. How am I going to do this? And so when they get to Yalta, he goes to Roosevelt and says, "Let's talk. Let's plan how we're going to get Joseph." And FDR goes, let's have lunch. We'll do it after lunch. And he's like, "Okay, when are we gonna? We got to confab. You and me. We got to triangulate. You come from that. So good cop, bad cop. Like, which one do you want to do?" And FDR is like, "It's all right, Winston. It's all right. It's all right. I got that. We'll talk about it. We'll definitely talk about it." And then they're at lunch with Stalin, and Roosevelt looks at Churchill and he says to Stalin, "Joseph, look at Churchill. Look at what a fat, weird little man he is. Look at him with his cigar. Look how ridiculous he is." And Stalin is like shocked, and he looks at Churchill and he goes, "Ah!" And he just laughs, and he fucking drinks vodka with FDR, and they fucking singing songs. Yeah. And FDR and Joseph are like best friends. Churchill is a fucking loser.
Yeah.
And then and FDR is like, "So you come in our side?" And Joseph's like, "Yes, I come in your side."
Of course.
Of course I come in your side. He read the room, and he knew what had to be done. And it was throwing fucking Winston Churchill under the bus and making him feel like a fat little fucking...
And he was mad about it. He was mad. Churchill was mad.
Yeah.
He left there. No, but he got he won World War II at that.
Yes, he did. But he had to be humiliated.
Yeah. The best was, a cool one about Churchill and Roosevelt, not really Roosevelt, but just after Pearl Harbor. Mm-hmm. I think Churchill sent a cigar to the king and was like, "We just won." Like as soon as Pearl Harbor
Right.
happened,
He
was
knew
like,
because
it's
that's
over.
all he wanted was for them to get involved.
It's over.
There is one point where he needed to meet in person with FDR. So the British fleet took Churchill into the middle of the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah.
And the American fleet sent a warship that had FDR's yacht on, like, just sitting on the deck of an aircraft carrier. And they lowered his yacht into the water in the middle of the ocean.
Jesus Christ.
And it putted over to the English. And they were ringed by, like, you know, if the Nazis had come along, there was like 1,000 guns just for a meeting between those two guys on a yacht drinking whiskey in the middle of the ocean. So that's all I got on FDR. 3 times?
Yeah. And then he died.
So Truman. Okay. Truman.
Fuck the New Deal. We don't need to talk about it.
Yeah, don't care. We're talking about the guys, not the American history. So Truman was his 3rd vice president.
Truman was, Missouri, I think.
Yes.
And he was considered kind of a fucking loser, right?
He was hated.
Yeah.
He was like hated the way that like Ted Cruz is hated. Like that kind of like, if you talk to people in Washington, they're just like, oh, I can't with that fucking guy. For different reasons. But Truman was picked. FDR was like, who can we pick that's not going to fuck things up, you know? And they picked Truman. Truman was a guy, worked at a haberdashery. It didn't work out. He was one of these guys. His father was a farmer and he was running his farm. And then he went and worked at a bank and was kicking ass.
Yeah.
And then his father's farm failed so he took it over, and that wiped out like 10 years of his life was just being a farmer. And he had a haberdashery that didn't work, whatever. But so Truman went to the Senate, and then when he was a senator, his focus was graft during World War II. Basically all the money, like billions of dollars, would be appropriated for the war and given to American industries, and they would all steal them. And every senator in Washington was stealing all the war. We were fighting Hitler, and everybody in Washington was just stealing money and fleecing their fucking pockets, like openly in front of everybody.
Yeah.
And so Truman like had this idea: let's not do that. Let's
try to win.
Let's try to win, and let's try to get the money to the soldiers who are dying. And everyone hated him. That's why they hated him. They fucking hated him. And even Roosevelt.
Hated him.
What's that?
I would have hated him.
Everybody hates the guy.
Stay out of this.
Yeah, everybody hates the one guy.
Yeah.
Even FDR was like, do we really want a guy who's like, oh, man,
we need a leader.
Steal the money.
Yeah.
So they made him vice president. Nobody liked him. They locked him out of like they always do to the vice president. So one night he's in Sam Rayburn's office. Sam Rayburn was like the greatest Speaker of the House ever. Sam Rayburn, there's the building that all the offices are in, is the Sam Rayburn building. He was like the first great speaker, one of the great speakers. So Sam Rayburn, he's in his office playing poker with Sam Rayburn. They had a poker room, like a dark, original smoky room. And Truman is just a loser, vice president. Nobody talks to him. And he's playing poker with Sam and the other guys late into the night, just having a good time. And then he gets a call. There's a call for you. And it's Eleanor Roosevelt. She says, my husband just died.
Yeah.
You need to get to the White House. So out of habit, because nobody cared about him, he just went on the street alone and hailed a cab.
Yeah.
And there was one moment where he's in a taxi and he realizes, Jesus Christ, we're at war. And the president of the United States is in a taxi. Nobody knows where I am. And then the famous moment is that he got to the White House and Eleanor greeted him at the door. And he said, Mrs. President or whatever, is there anything I can do for you? And she says, Mr. President, is there anything I can do for you?
Yeah.
And everyone was like, this is going to suck.
Yeah. She's like, you're the one who's in trouble now.
Truman's going to blow.
Yeah.
But he was a very good fucking president.
He nukes Japan.
Dropped the bomb. There's a
and don't get it twisted.
Don't get it twisted.
They had it coming. All right. There's this thing in history where everyone wants to be like, I can't believe they did that. Look into it.
No, there's the account of the of the announcement of the Truman was on a ship when he was on a big ship and he was having a big banquet.
Yeah.
And he got the report in his ear, like George Bush, that they had
it worked.
Yeah, that it worked. Because
Yeah.
nobody knew if it even worked. And he did a little ting, 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 ting.
Hey,
everybody, just so you know, we dropped a bomb on the jet on Hiroshima. And it worked. And we're starting to get, and then I think Nagasaki had dropped after also. Yeah. And it looks like
a day later.
And everybody applauded because there was no conflict.
Yeah.
Because the Japanese were never going to surrender.
Yeah.
And the amount of people that would have died, this is what it's like when you get deep into a war. How many people have died so far? How many more will die if we do it this way?
Yeah.
How many will die if we do it this way? So that's what happened. I don't have an opinion about it. I don't.
I do.
But that's fine.
But here's the thing. Nobody cares about Dresden. Nobody cares about...
No, Dresden, way more people died.
Yeah, and it's also... And first off, not more horrifically, both had like fire tornadoes.
Yes.
That just wiped out.
Well, they set the atmosphere on fire.
Yeah, it's the scariest thing in the world.
It's awful.
It sucked the oxygen out of a city, and there were fire tornadoes.
Yes.
People were melting in the streets.
Yes.
Into the street. The
going down the drains.
The pavement melted. So they'd run out of their houses, and their feet would get stuck. And then they'd reach down and then just be stuck in the fucking... I mean, it's the worst thing in the world. But you know, they might have had it coming.
But
of course, these are civilians.
There's a joke about two agents running into each other on the street in Hollywood, and one of them's like, "Hey, what have you been up to?" And he goes, "Oh, I produced a special for whatever. Just pick a, Celine Dion or whatever."
Yeah.
He goes, "How'd you like working with her?" And she's like, "Fucking cunt, fucking worthless, fucking spoiled brat, fucking drunk, fucking drug-addled cunt. I hope she fucking dies." And the other guy goes, "She's my niece." And the guy goes, "Let me finish." It's an old joke. Cut it out of the thing.
No, anyway, that's a good joke.
So okay, why did we get to that? Because Nagasaki, Hiroshima. So Truman dropped the bombs. And won the war, and then the next guy is
Eisenhower.
I only have one good Eisenhower story that I saw told by his son. After Eisenhower retired, he was a fucking general. He was a general.
Yeah.
He killed Hitler.
Yeah.
And then he was president.
And he was a president in a very good time. He's one of the few presidents that just kind of... I mean,
1950s.
He kind of started Vietnam, but...
Yes.
He was... Right?
Damn good... meaty part of our history.
And Korea. But other than that, he had a pretty good time.
Got us kicked off in Korea for no reason. No reason. Zero reason.
Yeah.
Zero reason. Vietnam, nothing accomplished.
Turns out nothing accomplished. But at the time, you wanted to stop the spread of communism.
Yeah, no, that's what we're doing now in Ukraine, of course.
Yeah, we need to stop the spread.
Whatever, it's just good. It's good to
we need to stop Russia.
You got to just, kill Russians. Just Russians need to die. It's fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
But when he retired, there's a story I saw his son tell in an interview where he had made a putting green on his front lawn. Like he got Kentucky bluegrass or whatever. Like he got like perfect grass, and he had this beautiful, because all he wanted to do was putt in front of his house. Yeah. And then he had a corral where he had horses.
This is after he's president?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's done.
He's done. He's on the porch with his whole family.
Yeah.
And they're all sitting there, and a green horse unbroken horse gets out of the corral and jumps onto the putting green and just starts taking bites out of it and destroying it. And his family looks at the general. It was their father, but they called him the general. And he just said, "Isn't that the most beautiful thing you ever saw in your life?" And they realized, wow, he's not the same guy anymore.
He's gone.
He's different.
He's out.
Yeah, it's over.
We skipped one thing, which I didn't know.
Yeah.
Eleanor Roosevelt was his fucking cousin. Was FDR's cousin.
Well, and
it was
their
Teddy.
uncle. Teddy was their uncle.
Well, no.
Teddy was Roosevelt's uncle.
Teddy was
FDR's uncle.
cousin.
Well, he was like his
older cousin.
He was like a second cousin, way that your father's cousin is your second cousin.
That crazy brother
was
Teddy's crazy brother was her father. was Eleanor's father.
Right. They were all related.
They were related.
Yes. And Teddy was his hero.
Yeah. Yeah, he even got those glasses when he was younger.
Yes.
It's pretty nice. And then he got to school. He went to school as a young boy, and he was just surrounded by his whole life. He was around rich adults. And then he got to school, and everyone started whooping his ass. Pretty fun. So now we're on Ike.
Ike, I don't know nothing about him except for that one stupid story about the horse.
Dumb thing about him being called Ike was everybody in his family, him and his siblings were all called Ike.
Right.
And
because it was his last name. Yeah.
No,
Ike. Yeah.
Eisenhower.
Dwight Eisenhower.
Yeah, but Ike has nothing to do with it.
No, it doesn't.
He said he had no idea why he was called Ike.
No.
He said him and all his siblings were all called Ike. They would call each other Ike.
Right.
It was like they're like, hey.
Was he the one where it was Dewey wins that thing that happened? There was that newspaper headline that said Dewey wins the election.
Was it? For some reason,
I
thought
counted
that was
too quick.
For some reason, I thought that was always FDR holding that up.
I think it's FDR. Yeah, maybe you're right. I don't know. I don't know who all these also rans were.
Truman was holding it up.
Yeah.
So Truman got reelected.
That's right.
So now we're at Eisenhower.
So Eisenhower just running
whatever.
Through it. So then after, so Nixon was his vice president, and Nixon got in trouble when he was vice president because people said he was doing graft, that he was taking money already when he was a young. First of all, he was a senator and he was a pinko hating. Like he started.
Was he in California?
He started the whole Red Scare.
Yeah,
and he went after a lady who was a local beloved politician. And he called her the Pink Lady. It's the first time that they started this thing of pinkos, communists being pinkos. And she went on to star in the Beverly Hillbillies. She's the banker's assistant. I don't know if you ever watched that show, the Beverly Hillbillies.
No, I vaguely remember the intro.
She was like one of the stars of the Beverly Hillbillies. He called her the Pink Lady.
But wait, so Pinko comes from Pink Lady?
Yeah, he started this Pinko thing, and he called it the Pink Lady, and he hated communists, and there's a famous picture of him looking at a piece of microfilm that it was supposed to be documents that he found that were being stolen by communists. And, and they killed the Rosenbergs.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
But they had it coming.
What? No, they didn't do anything.
They didn't do anything?
They didn't do anything.
Wait a minute.
When the Cold War started to lift.
Anytime someone dies
when the Cold War started to lift, the KGB said, by the way, the Rosenbergs, never heard of them. Like they gave us nothing. There was a giant red herring. We killed a married couple with children who didn't do anything ever.
They blamed the Rosenbergs for nuclear secrets, right?
Yes.
But they didn't do that.
No. And that's all. Nixon was really into that shit.
It'd be funny if they're like, we don't know anything about nukes.
Yeah.
I've never seen one.
So Nixon becomes vice president. He gets in trouble. And so he gives a speech on television where he's sitting at a desk. It's called the Checkers speech because he had a dog named Checkers who was given to his children. And they said it was a gift that he was supposed to register. You know what I mean? Like he was taking gifts from people. Pro, whatever you call it. And that the dog was an expensive dog given to his children. So he goes on TV and he tells his finances to the American people. And he says, and I'm an honest person. We didn't steal anything. And here's what happened. And he says, but there's been some comment about this dog. And my kids love that dog and we're going to keep it. And that was like his little moment that people were like, all right, you're okay. But people never really trusted Nick to call him Tricky Dick because of way back then. So then he runs against Kennedy. And
that's number 4. He gets
and first Kennedy was on the ballot. He tried to run
against Eisenhower.
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
And then he got to the convention, and he was going to be. And I think Kennedy lost at the convention. Used to be the convention is where they picked the guy.
Yeah.
To whoever the fuck Adlai Stevenson. No, he was his VP. I don't fucking remember how all this works.
Yeah.
I'm confused by it.
Sorry.
I think Adlai Stevenson was I think Kennedy was supposed to okay, I don't care.
Yeah.
So Kennedy and Nixon debate on television. Nixon's
that's
ugly.
Apparently, yeah.
When Nixon and
Kennedy's
Kennedy,
not the best looking guy. Everybody always is like he's a hunk. You know what I mean? You know how everyone's saying he's a hunk?
What did he just say?
Oh, he's got headphones. Oh, he is listening. Okay. He is listening.
Okay.
Sometimes he looks like a bit of a goat. Like he's got wide, weird eyes.
He has bedroom eyes. Girls like that.
Oh.
Yeah, I think he's a good looking guy. Him and Bobby were both good.
He's got me beat for sure, but
yeah. Well, you beat? I don't know. You're a decent looking guy. You're a nice looking guy.
Let me see him.
You're not handsome the way Kennedy was. I mean, that's a handsome face. That's a handsome man with that head of hair is unbelievable.
With that what of hair?
That head of hair.
Mm-hmm. Not anymore.
No, because somebody shot the back of it.
Who did though?
A lot of people.
Yeah, you think?
Like 6 guys.
I think a lot of guys shot him in the head.
So many. They dug so many.
I think there were like 4 people that shot him.
Somebody with a paper clip.
Yeah.
Fucking.
Wait,
everybody.
do you have any opinions on that? Do you believe it was the lone gunman, Lee Harvey?
I think you can take any event in human history and find an alternate version of it if you dig and dig and dig. And I think a presidential assassination is just so interesting.
Yeah.
So I don't have an opinion. I mean, I'm fascinated by it.
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
There are some
think
weird
about and to read about.
It's fun to look into.
Of course,
because it seems
the culture of it is like the greatest.
It seems kind of like something was up.
Yeah.
Was it because was he trying to end Vietnam? Or no, it had just kind of kicked off.
There's also the civil rights and all that stuff. He was ramming that down the throats of some guys, and I mean,
they offered him a false flag in Cuba, and he was like, "No."
Right. I mean, it's crazy.
There's a lot of
what he did, what he fought against the states. You know, like what's his name? The guy at college with the black kids coming in.
Yeah,
standing there going, "You're not coming in here."
Yeah.
There's a great documentary that everybody should watch. That's about Robert Kennedy, who was he made his own brother the fucking attorney general, which is insane, and who was like 20, but he made him attorney general. And at the time, what's his name was fucking FBI, the guy
Hoover, or no, J. Edgar
Hoover was the head of FBI, and he had to work under this kid Kennedy. And that was a lot of the tension in the country was about that. But anyway,
history hasn't been too kind to J. Edgar.
No, it hasn't.
Because he was gay.
Well, he was a cross-dresser.
That's why people don't like him.
Some people, I don't know which version of this kind of thing he was, but he wore clothes of a womanly nature.
It's all gay to me.
I don't know that he had sex with men, but he wore women's clothes. 2 different things. I don't know.
He dressed up like ladies, and then he would try to blackmail like MLK.
Yeah.
he would write a
He'd be like dressed in a woman's dress with lipstick.
He'd be like, I know what he likes,
saying, I know what you've been up to, MLK.
You ever see that letter they wrote him? The FBI sent Martin Luther King a letter that was like, you should fucking kill yourself.
Really?
We're going to out you if you don't kill yourself in the next 30 days.
Were they just trying to hurt his feelings?
No, they were trying to kill him.
It's just like in shitty text.
It's in typewriter. Like, they sent him a letter. I think
Martin.
Loretta Scott opened it.
Wow.
And
Coretta Scott.
Coretta. That's it.
Loretta Scott.
Whatever. It's close. One letter.
Loretta
opened it.
Coretta.
Correct. And yeah, she was like, what the fuck's this? And he's like, fucking goddamn FBI is trying to.
Wow.
He got caught cheating. He's like, fucking FBI again.
Oh, I see.
But the
like
FBI, it actually,
all these women.
But it actually was the FBI. He wasn't lying. But man, that probably was a tough sell to.
It probably was.
Your lady. Be like, this is
She's
the government.
like, this says you've been fucking all these women. He's like, but you're missing the point.
FBI is trying to.
The FBI is trying to kill me. Yeah. She's like, who's Louise? Honey, this is history. They're going to talk about this later in podcasts.
Eventually, they killed him.
So Kennedy. Here's a great Kennedy story. So. Peter Salinger, I think his name was Pierre Salinger. He was a journalist who hung out with Kennedy a lot. So they're in Kennedy's in the Oval Office, and what Kennedy really liked bragging about was that he could get anybody on the phone ever. The White House operators could get any human being in the world. So he said to Pierre Salinger, "Give me a name. I can get him on the phone in 10 minutes." And he happened to know that Truman Capote was writing a book in the woods. He was like in a cabin in the woods, cut off, no phone, on sabbatical. And so he says, Truman Capote. And so Kennedy picks up the phone on the coffee table and says, "Yeah, get me a Truman Capote, please." And just hangs up, and then they keep talking. And in 10 minutes, he hears like they fucking got a helicopter and they lowered it. And yes, Mr. President. And so that's what he was like. He liked being president. He liked the fucking.
He was cool.
He was a cool president.
And Jackie
the
was
thing
cool.
about him, and because Nixon and Kennedy's stories are just attached. Nixon was a nerd and Kennedy was cool. And it's another thing like Churchill and FDR that Nixon was always heartbroken that people just preferred Jack because he was a cooler guy. And there's a little story that's in, I think it's in Kennedy's, it's in Nixon's, what do you call it? In his library about how the two of them, when they were senators, they were sent to Philadelphia to debate. Like they used to do this. The Senate would say, they get a Democrat and Republican, you guys go up and debate the issue. So the two of them were in a sleeper car together because they're going overnight or whatever to Philly or some city where they had to be in a sleeper car. And Kennedy, and so Nixon suggested who gets the top because there's bunks. He says, let's flip a coin. This is the story. And then they flipped a coin and Kennedy won. That's why it's a funny story to people. It's the first time that they...
Yeah.
But I picture this story like a fly on the wall. They're in the sleeper car and Nixon's like, just nerd, packed a little suitcase.
Well,
and
how
Kennedy's
should we
been
decide
fucking,
this?
he's just fucking somebody.
Yeah.
Kennedy's hungover, good-looking dude, smoking a cigarette, and he's like, I got to be with this fucking Nixon. He hates Nixon. And Nixon's like, so I guess we should flip a coin. And Kennedy's like, what?
Yeah, just do it.
Decide who's... Yeah, go ahead, Dick.
Yeah. And he won.
And he's like, well, you won. Okay, Dick.
Great. Get up. Get up there.
Nobody gives
Get
a fuck.
the fuck up there.
Yeah, you fucking loser.
Climb up there.
Yeah, so that was them. And then, so Kennedy gets shot in the head
Yeah.
and throat.
Yes. And
And
the bullet
dies
somehow hits the guy
of
in front of
AIDS.
him a little weird.
What?
And he did have AIDS.
Yeah, he died of AIDS. It's the first one. Yeah, also it kills the governor or paralyzes the governor. Or
Yeah. I don't know.
fucking
Some guy from Texas also got shot.
Whatever.
That's another one they said today's medicine he would have made it.
Kennedy? With his head just empty?
His head
his
blew
emptied head?
Yeah. Speaking of Nazis, I watched Greyhound last night on Apple TV.
What's
Another absolute crap movie.
What is it?
It's about Tom Hanks he's escorting a cargo fleet in the North Atlantic. Of course, World War II.
Yeah.
Why does Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg just own World War II?
They do. What else they do?
They did Band of Brothers, Pacific,
Okay.
Saving Private Ryan,
Captain Phillips.
Captain Phillips. Tom Hanks on a boat in adversity is pretty good. I'll give him that. But there's the same music for World War II that they basically, now when you think of World War II, you think of this music. It's like horns, like slow, like
I was just playing
glorious,
something like that in my head,
uplifting
yeah.
horns, and then like a God-fearing, reluctant hero that doesn't really want to be there. That's a great man. Like they went out of their way for him to be like boys with the black chef. It's a white captain on a submarine hunting vessel in the North Atlantic, and the black chef would come up and they'd pray together. And it's like, dude, get out. Like now he's not even allowed to be racist, this guy. This World War II murderous captain. Still they have to show him, be like, look how great he was. Well, it's weird, dude. I don't know.
I know you reach that point in a lot of movies where you get to the point where the main character like encounters like a woman or a person of color, and they're like, by the way, my character feels better about you than everyone else in the time.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
And that's the point of the movie.
And then
Well, Tom Hanks has like been canonized into that. He just portrays like elite liberal values, and he gets cred for that in real life, which is weird. It's like how like Jean-Claude Van Damme is like a badass, or like even Robert De Niro is
the number
classic
one
example.
Yeah,
dude, him and Al Pacino were doing like Broadway musicals. Yeah, they're like, no, that guy's like a mob boss. It's like, no, he's not. He's a fucking actor. He's a pussy.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, that guy's tough. You don't want a problem with him.
Total pussy.
It's like you would wail on that, dude.
Dude, Al Pacino was doing one of those like GQ like epic interviews where like sit like all in white in a weird thing, and Al Pacino's like, yeah, remember that, Rob? We used to do those little musicals, and he's like, And he like you could tell he was trying to change the
I
subject.
remember those.
He's like, yeah, I might have popped a couple of those few things.
A couple in there, went down there, had a few pops. Just doing Tommy.
But yeah, that's weird how actors get like movie credit. Like that carries them, that follows them in real life.
Yeah.
They're like, all right, cut. And then like Tom Hanks now is like a liberal hero.
Tom Hanks hunting, although it was making me laugh imagining underwater Nazis for some reason. They were all in submarines. Just imagining a bunch of Nazis in submarines being like, hi ho. Hi-ho. Like, are there any Jews down here? There better not be. And then they would, the one captain of the one would get on their radio, on the Americans' radio, and just be like, you thought you could escape us? We are the Grey Wolf. We will hunt you. Ow! And then he'd be like, turn that off, god damn it. I'd be like, I ended up, like your joke, cheering for the Nazis in this movie.
Oh, my God.
I was like, dude, the Grey Wolf rules. He's talking shit.
Yeah.
He's blowing up ships and then talking shit. He's getting on their radio and be like, you thought you had us? We will kill you now. It's great.
Tom Hanks like, stop talking shit on my black chef.
Don't you dare. Oh, they killed
I didn't know he was black.
They killed the black chef.
Oh, yeah.
The Nazis they cleansed the ship.
They sent a black...
They were like firing bullets, and one of them just hit the black chef. They killed 3 guys on the entire ship, and one of them was Cleveland. Cleveland got shot.
So at the end, Tom Hanks is holding his like dying body. He's like, I was always the nicest to you, right?
Wasn't it really cool how woke I was in 1946?
Remember that time like everyone was saying fucked up stuff? I was like, guys, knock it off. It's not even funny. I wasn't laughing at all.
I honor your experience.
No, they dropped the black body like a depth charge.
Really?
At the Nazi sub, and they're like, ew.
Into an iceberg.
The movie ends by the Nazis being like, oh, this water is disgusting now. You ruined it, Tom Hanks.
The guy who's trying to die, and he's like, no, seriously, smacking his face. I'll never know your experience. No, come on, I need you to stay with me.
Stay with me, damn it.
I'm trying to win this Oscar.
Yeah, the whole, like, that interaction, it's kind of a short movie. There's no real plot. It's just the battle. But they infuse this in. They also infused him and his wife. Like, the first, like, minute of the movie is him leaving. Mm-hmm. So it's him being in love. Him being like, I love you so much. You're the most important thing to me. And then it's just a battle for an hour and a half. And they just, the wife's out. The wife's pointless.
Yeah.
It just shows you how he loves him. Such a good man.
Kind of heteronormative for my taste. He should have, like, fucked a dude and been like, I'm out of here.
And then Cleveland comes up and keeps trying to make him eat. He's like, you gotta eat, Captain. You gotta eat. And for some reason, he just never eats.
Well, he hates Nazis.
But one of the bullets does come through and blow up his bacon, egg, and cheese.
What happens?
He keeps trying to make him breakfast sandwiches. And at one point, a Nazi bullet comes in and hits his breakfast sandwich. It made me laugh so hard, just a Nazi like, like shooting it. Just Nazis, underwater Nazis.
In the scope, they're like, what is it? It's like some sort of pork with cheese and egg on a delicious roll.
Cleveland is delivering it. We will get him, boys. Don't worry. They weren't even after the cargo ships. They were just trying to get Cleveland.
Write that down.
They literally killed 3 dudes on the entire ship. One of them was Cleveland. I wonder if they were like, mission accomplished. We did it, boys. Time to head home. The Fuhrer will be so proud.
Were they down there looking for Jews down there?
They were down at the bottom. They were under the sea.
You said that. They were like,
looking for
not
Sebastian.
here.
They were looking for Sebastian the crabs, the Jew crabs. Like, is there any here?
They're down there looking for Jewlantis, dude. You know it's down here.
It's too wet. It's wet down here. I can't do a Jew. Can't do a Jewish accent.
You're good. You're good at German. Yeah.
Hold on. God, it's so wet down here. I can't do it.
That's how you're saying. That's how Atlantis ended.
Atlantis is like, it's too wet. It's humid all the time.
Too many mermaids in this neighborhood.
Now, once the mermaids moved in, now we collect their rent, but we don't like living with them.
That was my.
Last week, me and Matt here were on our way to a sick-ass party.
They're pretty sick.
We're both crushing it.
Everybody get up. It's time to Space Jam.
Are you talking about Charlie Boy?
Yeah, what happened there?
Yeah. He can call himself whatever he wants. He's a king. Fat Finger King.
What happened with the Fat Finger King? And the pedophilia.
He's a pedophile. Him and Lord Mountbatten were pedophiles. They got Jimmy Savile in there. The Queen protected him.
Yeah, but the guy.
The Queen covered up the Epstein story originally.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that who got it sealed?
Well, when the media, they could have broke it, and the chick got hot mic'd. Project Veritas hot mic'd that one chick.
She spilled the beans.
Yeah,
Spilled the
she
fucking
was
beans,
like
bro.
the royal family leaned on her, told her to shut it down.
Well, yeah,
they threaten your lives. Dude.
Prince
They're
Andrew.
fucking- They're insane. Yeah, Prince
Yeah.
Andrew's the number 2 now.
Does it actually affect anything that the Queen died? Because I've heard a lot of people being like, "Oh man, this is the worst time for her to die right now." It's
I don't
like,
know. It's
Oh,
just
really?
so
She doesn't
weird.
do anything.
I thought she was like a Chuck E. Cheese.
It is.
robot.
It's absolutely a Chuck E. Cheese.
Dude, there's
robot.
people being
disappeared
like,
a bunch
"This is
of
not a good
kids."
time for her to die." Huh?
She disappeared a bunch of kids in Canada once.
True.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah.
What happened?
Just a bunch of. I think they were Indian kids.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
They were under her dominion.
Yes. Yeah, Canada's theirs.
Oh yeah, dude. So is Australia.
Oh yeah, it's the Commonwealth.
So yeah, so you were saying the pedo Prince Andrew, he can come back into the fold now.
Well, if
Peter Pan.
Charlie Boy goes down and he needs somebody to like be his number 2, Prince Andrew's back on the table.
I mean, hear me out. I mean, I think pedophilia is gross and wrong, but I feel like what would you? I'm gonna play.
me stop you there.
Devil's advocate. Play devil's advocate. What do you say about like only monarchs can do pedophilia?
It does seem like it does come with the territory.
Yeah, I think they've been doing it for like 1,000 years.
I think so.
Yeah.
Too.
Pretty sure that's what the king's been up to.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I think that's all you do as a king. You like someone tells you like, "Do I have any money?" They're like, "Yeah, we have a lot of money." Like, nice. What's up with the kids? Like,
He's
"Yeah,
all dude. He's
fucking
also
Yeah,
a
like you can't pay
psycho.
taxes. All right, bring me your
Yeah.
child.
true."
He's also a psycho with the climate change stuff.
Who? Prince Andrew?
No, Charlie Boy. And he was like the original Greta Thunberg.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, how about the Patagonia guy? Do you see that?
No.
Have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
Who's Patagonia guy?
The guy who owns Patagonia like sold all his shares to fight climate change. I
What?
think it was like 3.5 bill. Yeah, actually, kind of sweet
It's kind of nice
if
of
you
him.
believe that stuff.
That's nice of him to do.
Climate. So you think climate change is sweet?
What? I like the fact that the
Do you
planet's
deny
going up?
climate change?
Dude, I have no idea. I can't. I'll be honest. If someone asks me like how the world's doing as a whole, I'm gonna have to hit him with, I don't know how that works.
Yeah, I don't.
I have no
dude.
idea.
I don't know how they predict weather.
Well, exactly. Clapton was right when God got busted. He took it too far.
What he got recently busted, right?
Well, he got recently busted, but it happened back in
vax?
like 1960 or 1970. He came out and was like, "England's a white country. Call these Jamaicans."
Oh,
Came out hammered in the 70s. Was like, "Get them out of here."
he hit the wall. He hit the wall.
He hit the wall, bro.
Like
He hit the wall.
Jamaicans getting
He hit the wall, and then they brought it up as soon as he was like, "I got
As
bad."
soon as he was like, I don't know about the vax.
He got
They were like,
bad-
remember what you said about Jamaicans?
The vax finger up, and they like went back to the 70s. Like, he's a racist. Yeah, he hit the wall, and then after that, he had to do a concert for racism. He's like, "Guys, I'm so sorry. England's for everybody. Free free Prince Andrew."
Yeah, it was an extremely nice trip I had though.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, the party, dude. What's better than a party bus?
Literally,
So fun.
Literally nothing, dude.
It's so fun.
Literally nothing.
Yeah,
Last time I was on a party bus, we were smoking a ton of weed on it, and a guy stopped and was like, "Yo, I got a bunch of guns on here, dude." We were going hunting too. He's like, "Bro, we better go."
Wait, you were
through
going hunting?
Oh, he was like, they were going skeet shooting.
Okay.
So it was they were going shooting the guns, but we went
Was
through
it
a
a
toll
bachelor
booth.
party?
Yeah, we went through
Yeah.
a toll booth. All of it, we're just blazing in a party bus, and we
With
went through.
guns, dude? What are you, T.I.?
We went through the toll.
What are you, Lil Weezy?
We went through the
That's
toll
crazy.
booth. I didn't know he brought a ton of guns. I knew we were going
Yeah.
skeet shoot. I know he's going to bring all of his own weapons. He brought like weapons for us, to, like
You guys
AR-15s
are
to
crazy.
shoot. We're crazy, bro.
Hey.
Dude, we went through the toll booth, and he was like, "Yo, that lady probably called the cops. We're going to get pulled." This guy had a bunch of
fucking
guns and
freaks me
spun
out.
out on weed. He's like, "They're going to take my guy." He spazzed, dude. Oh,
Yeah.
she smelled the weed and called the
I can
cops.
send him to
Cops were-
Rikers, dude.
Probably, dude. We had mad gats, dude. We probably had T.I.'s arsenal.
Yeah.
We had T.I.'s arsenal.
Would you have taken the fall for your boy?
For those gats?
Yeah.
Surely.
Say, those are my gats.
I'm like, bro, I own one of those shotguns.
Those are dope. Those are all mine.
I feel like you're allowed to have a shotgun if you're high. I feel like there are shotgun rules. Like
Yeah.
your father can gift you a shotgun, no questions asked.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, yes, this is my legal right, dude. I'm in a militia.
Now we're talking Second Amendment. Now we're talking pig and walnut.
Now we're talking second.
Is that a walnut or a pig? Where did the pig get the walnut?
Dude, I'll tell you what. I've been fired up on my rights. I've been getting political.
Yeah.
You see me on Twitter yesterday getting political?
Yeah. What were you saying?
Bro.
I enjoyed it.
I got fired up yesterday.
What'd you say?
You know I've been battling the PA weed system
were you
for a
saying?
long time. Dude.
Yeah.
So get this. PA weed system obviously is bull. You have like 4 corporations that own it all. Somehow they mostly all charge the same exact prices. It's not price fixing. You know, they all charge the same prices. So I'm like, whatever, you know, I'm dealing with it. I go in. They're like, hey, you should try this shake, which that's like the bottom of the bag.
Yeah.
Which isn't bad. It's ground up nugs. No problem. I go, oh, that's pretty nifty. I'll grab some shake for me and my friends. We'll have that, you know. And I bring it home. I smoke on it. I go, oh, it's harsh as hell.
It was harsh. It was harsh nugs.
So wait, no, dude.
Were you like, these aren't dank nugs?
It wasn't dank nugs.
These are harsh nugs.
It wasn't harsh. It was trim. It's the leaf.
Trim?
It's the exactly sugar leaf, bro.
What?
Larf, bro.
They larfed you?
So they. This is all. It's all family.
So you got larfed.
I knew it too. As soon as I hit my throat, I went, hold up.
Yeah, hold the phone, dude. This is harfage.
These guys got a problem. They don't even know it. And I had 2 different brands. Both of it was just trim, dude. Shane, riddle me this. It's a medical program. It's a medical marijuana program.
Yeah.
And they're selling people who know nothing about weed.
For cancer guys.
They're selling them literally stuff you throw. It's exact cancer guys.
Cancer guys.
Trying to eat, dude. Trying to get an appetite.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have enough money. Let me buy the shake. And these working there, dude. They all have pins too on their that's
TGI
like,
Fridays.
Love is love. No, it's like they apparently you have to like put all your political beliefs on your shirt for some reason. Love is love.
Yeah.
All this bull. Meanwhile, it's like, and I told them. So basically, the whole story is, I smoked the. I know it's trim right away. It touched my lips. I went, hold up.
Yeah, it's trim.
This is trim. I said, boys, put that down right away.
Yeah.
That's food grade. You can't be smoking on food grade. Put that down right now.
Yeah.
So I find out I'm fuming. Go the next time. So yesterday I had to buy some vape cartridges. I'm like, nice. I get to tell them what time it is in there. Walk in, they have all these like political.
You tell them what time it is.
These like party line dudes. Political pins. I'm G with it, bro. I walk in. I go, yeah, I just need some vape cartridges. I'm looking around. I go, hey, you guys still got that shake? I'm fishing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, dude, we got it. He's like, they start, their eyes go up, and I'm like, they're grinding up trim, dude. That's food grade. And you're like, oh yeah, man, like. Yeah, some of the companies unfortunately do put like blah 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 blah. And they started. What do they try to?
You should have told them the science is real. You should have said science is real.
Exactly, dude.
You guys aren't believing in science right now.
This is food. So guess what this guy?
That's science food.
They have this mode they go into where they act like they're like on the corner. They go, "Yo, bro, that's just the name of the game." He hits me with that. I said, "That's not the name of the game, bro." I was like, "That's grimy."
You're behind a desk.
I'm like, exactly. I'm like, "That's grimy, dirty." I'm like, that's the grimiest thing possible to sell people shake or sell people trim to smoke it as shake who don't know what anything is. I'm like, that's like really grimy stuff, man.
Yeah.
You guys shouldn't be doing that. You guys shouldn't even be supporting that. So
how do you feel about that?
I felt powerful, dude. I mean,
how did he feel about it?
The one guy was the one guy was like, yo, it's totally the other guy, not the guy who said name the game. He was like, yeah, dude, these companies do it. These companies,
name of the game,
bro. They act like it's like all of a sudden this dude's Joel Santana. I'm like, man,
damn,
you were just at Target 4 months ago,
dude. Joel's
you were just
rules.
at Target 4 months ago.
Santana.
Yeah, now they're at. I'm like, dude, get out of here. Now they're in Bird Gang. But yeah, so I'm like, I'm not being harsh to them. I'm like, I'm just telling you guys, and that's crazy. Those guys are allowed to do that. I'm like, it's.
Should have called them crazy.
They're crazy. So then they're like, yeah, dude. The one guy's like, dude, it's totally. And so I go to the back. Now I get to go to the back.
What is it? What is this day? What day is this for you?
Yesterday.
This is yesterday.
Yesterday. This is.
Yesterday you're doing battle with dudes
This
at a
is the
fucking
commute
weed
home.
shop.
I worked all day. I'm in the office. I'm drinking the weed cake.
What'd you do?
Dude, I'm working on a top secret program right now, dude. I'm always up to some bull. No.
I didn't mean to criticize.
It's not criticizing at all.
I'm not criticizing.
Bro, I need people. You need people to keep me in check.
Forgive me. I'm not criticizing.
I appreciate when my friends keep me in check. Bro.
Go.
Bro.
I'm not criticizing.
It's not criticizing. It's critical at all.
So you just worked your ass off.
Dude, I got fucking.
You clocked in, dude.
I'm wiping the sweat off my face to get in there. I'm clocking out.
You clocked out. Now
I
you're on
clocked
your way
out.
home.
Now I'm in the whip.
Now you're
It's
pushing
2
the
p.m.
whip. Yeah.
It's 2 p.m.
Yeah.
I'm working on a book.
You just clocked in noon to 2.
I'm writing a book I'll never release for 2 hours.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm like,
that's hard to do.
It is what it is. It's nothing, bro. Bro, I'm just a channel, bro. It's all coming through me. It's
From
nothing.
the spirit.
All I gotta do is sit in the chair and it's a whole different thing, bro. It's a top secret.
All right.
I wouldn't even put my name on, bro.
Bro, my bad for disrespecting you. All right, G. Keep it pushing.
Dude, it's all G.
It is G, but you were just working. You got snarfed. You got veggies by that or whatever. I don't know.
I fuck absolutely correct.
Dude.
So I come in.
Weed is as gay as dudes that are into alcohol like that.
It's bro.
being like, this is an IPA. This is
sucks,
craft.
dude. It sucks so bad. So I go into the back, and it's like I need it. I'm physically addicted to it, so I need to have it. But I miss me with all the culture around it.
Yeah.
So I just pump it in my body, dude, and just let me be.
Now you're talking my language. Don't worry about my addictions, you bitch.
So I have to go in and hear these guys with all their pins talk. Like, dude, these guys would rip you to shreds if you were to say one thing they didn't agree with. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that's why you guys are selling cancer patients trash, literal byproduct, industrial waste that should be only food grade, while the most like corporate oligarchical system controls all the way. It's all dog and pony show. Yeah,
You know,
it was pretty fun.
Speaking of that, I just watched a clip on the internet of Quentin Tarantino talking about Django. It's wild.
He code switches hard.
He was on BET, and he code switched harder than anyone you've ever seen in your life in a bad, like, he's not good at code switching.
He's not good at.
He was like, so damn, my man Jamie came through.
Yeah,
with the crew, and
why
we
does he
watched
do
that Fly movie. It's like, holy shit.
Apparently, he just does that though.
I like him, and he's the man. But that's wild.
Yeah, dude, he's a.
It's funny when dudes code switch that do like a very offensive black accent as their code switch.
Yeah, dude, where the fuck was I recently that it was going down real hard? Well, the dispensary people, it's those guys get high and are like, those guys get high and are like, man, let me tell you about this,
Jack. Here we go.
It's great. It wasn't that bad, but it was like, yo, that strain straight up slaps, bro. And I was like, dude, shut up.
Yeah, shut up.
I wasn't being a grouch, but I was flipping the temple. I was flipping the tables.
I
was flipping the tables.
You're JC.
Although, do you know that when the people were out there selling at the temples, it wasn't actually like a sinful. Well, it was just they were according to this one thing I read. That was what people did back then. They would set up temples, so they didn't want you to waste time. If you were going to church, you could just you can get like whatever you need.
Set up the market outside the temple.
Set up the market. It wasn't a terrible thing to do, but he was flipping the temples, being like, these stupid little acts aren't going to get you anywhere, dude. So it wasn't as much of like. People say it was like a really evil thing he was stopping. It was just he just didn't.
Jesus
like
does rule,
bro. I've been getting light into biblical scholarship. I'm not going to say I'm a biblical scholar, but I've been getting into like biblical.
Give it a week.
I'm getting into like the translation, do the translation errors, and like when they say like the dude ran up a sycamore fig, like that tree specifically carries a connotation that people just breeze over. It's pretty sick.
Yeah,
been pretty fun. I've been unlocking the meanings. Pretty fun. I lay up at night. I lit a fire. Later, brother.
Goodbye. Contact me if you guys want to come.
Later, brother. Yeah, dude, it's pretty sick getting into like the different, like the deep meanings of all, like, dude, salt covenants.
Yeah.
And rules.
What's that?
Dude, if you and I were, we're back in times, we're in the Middle East, like pre-Jesus.
Yeah.
You come into my house, I'm like, yo, bro, I think you're pretty sick. Let's eat these olives. You and I just made a salt pact. If we eat salty food together, then if we could never betray each other. If we betray each other, punishable by death.
We need a salty treat.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
You betray me.
Over a salt covenant, bro?
You would break the salt covenant and stab me in the back.
What the hell are you talking about?
I'd go, E2, mate.
What the
dude?
What are you talking about? You're claiming me of breaking the salt covenant.
Sorry, my bad. I'm harshing the pod, dude. My bad. I'm harshing the pod.
I made a salt covenant last night to never watch porn. With myself. I'm never going to watch it ever again.
I'm showing you porn every time you see me.
You can show it to me. I'll blind myself. I'm talking about me, secret mission status.
Pleasuring yourself to pornography.
Late at night. I said, I was like, stopped. I was like, I don't think I'm ever going to watch it ever again.
That's sick.
We'll see. I mean, if I break a salt covenant, like, dude, there's stories in the Old Testament about like, there's like so much weird, like a guy's in a lady's tent and then she just like gives him like buttermilk and then drives a nail into his head. It's like, and the guy like breaks down all the specific meanings.
Yeah, all
like,
the meanings.
He like goes, it was like he was seeking asylum in there. She was nice enough. The buttermilk was a salt covenant. So it's like, rather than giving it, he asked for water and she's like, here's buttermilk. And it's like, damn, now that's like, you're under full protection in my house.
Yeah.
And he's like, word. And then he goes into, I'm still in the dispensary, word. And then he goes into her chambers. He goes into her chambers.
All right, bet.
And she goes, well, now that's like punishable by death. Now my honor's on the line because you enter my chambers. And she lets him fall asleep and just takes a nail and drives it right into his temple. And everyone's like, praise that woman for she is so righteous. Yeah, they said in the Middle East back in the day, if you were wandering around, like if you like didn't get to your hotel on time, you can get attacked by thieves who like camp out on the road.
Yeah.
He said they all took it so seriously. I don't know if it's still like this, but like if you were like wandering around, you're a tourist. If you were to walk into like a thieves tent and say, yo, bro, I can't find a place. Please, can we make a salt covenant for the night? The thief would go, how much money do you have? You'd count out all your money, $1,000. You'd go, give it to me. Put it in his pocket, and then you'd have a little salty meal. He'd let you sleep all night, and then he'd stand out guard for you all night. And in the morning, give you your money and be like, all right, get out of here.
Wow.
That's how seriously they took it.
Yes.
Pretty sick, dude.
I like that.
Yeah, there's this it's called Light Through an Eastern Window. It's a very good book.
You should try that today.
What? Salt Covenant?
Just going to North Philly and be like, look, I ran out of places to stay. I'll give you guys $1,000. Stand guard.
Stand guard, and we eat these pickles, dude.
How long have you been together?
A couple months, like 5, 6
Oh,
months.
you guys are in the honeymoon phase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just banging all the time.
You ever kiss her boobs or anything?
I do suck on her boobs.
Cool.
Yeah, I suck her tits, and if she gets an abortion, I'll kill her.
Yeah.
If I find out she's ever had one or even thought about
Ooh, what will you do?
I'll cut her head off.
You'll cut her tits
Oh, never.
What?
Never,
Really?
dude. Only hotels in my house.
Really?
Hotels
Yeah,
are nice
yeah.
dump.
Hotels is a good call.
Although until you get into the squatty potty, that it kind of sucks when you're at a hotel and you don't. I'll look at the trash can. I'm like, can I put my feet on this?
Man,
That's the game
They
changer.
got a portable
done that.
squatty potty now.
Huh?
Yeah. It like folds up and you put it in your
Oh,
pocket.
man. You got to be a fat mother. I'm prepared to wherever I'm headed. Dude, breaking out a squatty potty at a rest stop or at an airport bathroom.
Washing.
I
it.
crush airports.
I take
Yeah,
on planes.
I take early flights. On planes is absolutely insane.
No, it rules. It rules.
Wahlberg's going to stop you one day. Wahlberg's going to see you going.
No.
True. The move is you go when the drink cart starts to come, then you go. So then you take a dump, but then you're standing in the back waiting for the
Yeah.
cart to come. So
No
you
one
can stretch
knows.
your legs. No one knows you dumped. And you just punish the staff. You go back there. They get nasty. I've done it before.
All those gorgeous sluts.
Dude, just all
Stewardesses are
those-
sluts.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you get to shit back there and make the sluts go. All the sluts, they're all hungover from their layover.
I've only flown like once. Well,
Really?
once like there and back, but like
True.
You've only flown once?
Yeah, anytime I took Molly at that show, I would go sit in the manager's office by myself.
Right.
And be
Anytime
like-
I took Molly out that show was a hilarious statement.
I had an offensive line coach in college. I farted during a team meeting, and he stopped the film and was like, we don't do that in here.
What?
And I was like, yeah, well, we all do that in here. That's the only thing we're doing. You ever think of that?
I did not think of that.
Think about that every day.
I think about it every day. I met God, and she's black. Sorry. Sorry, conservatives.
You know how to push buttons, dude.
No. Bill,
What?
lay off, man.
What?
Come on, man.
Dude,
Can't have fun?
dude,
You don't-
why does he keep touching you like that?
He's touched me quite a bit.
It's alpha moves.
I don't know if it's alpha as much as it's beta, is just reaching up to the true alpha. It's like, this little pup grabbing the big dog's, you know? And the big dog's just laying, he's relaxing. But one of these days.
You're too old.
Oh, he's too old?
I've been thinking about that a lot lately. All the fucking boomers that are still trying to get tough. It's like, dude, I will punch you in the fucking hip and knock you out.
Who's trying to
Just boomers in a car, like give you the fingers, like, dude, get out.
Yeah, it's true.
You'll have a heart attack before you reach me.
My dad still thinks he's tough.
He's about to fight somebody on the
He
side of
still
the road.
thinks, like, we'll be watching anytime we. All right. Well, I try to bother him about it. Well, anytime we're like watching a game or anything, I'll be like, man, that guy would fuck you up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Shane, he wouldn't know what the hell hit him if I hit him. I'd be like, everybody on the court right now could beat your ass. It was he hates
That's such a funny
he
thing.
hates Montrezl or
Montrezl Harrell?
yeah. Montrezl Harrell. Pardon me?
Is that his real name?
Montrezl?
Rizzle.
Yeah. Because he called Doncic a white boy. He's like, yeah, so he's
Oh,
like,
is that dude? Yeah.
And my dad has not let that go.
Never forgotten.
And he's pretty pissed that Doc is the head coach of the Sixers now because he came on and was like, there's nothing racial about it. And it was like, kind of is. Kind of is. But, you know, he said sorry and it was fine. But my dad hasn't let that go. And I keep telling him, I'm like, dude, Montrezl would fuck you up, dude. Like, watch how you talk about him. He's like, Shane, he wouldn't know what the hell. I could fucking look how skinny he is. I'm like, dude, he's like 7 foot and jacked. He would literally kill all.
They all brag about fighting and shit. It's like, dude, all you guys are out of shape. You're fat as fuck by the time you're like 21, just gone off beer fighting each other.
Phil was jacked for a while.
But
Phil
I'm saying now.
Now he would die. Now, like, if he gets scared, I get worried about him.
Yeah.
I'm like, he's going to have a heart attack shortly.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's my one uncle approached me one day. We got into a feud, and like he got in my face. I was like,
What
dude,
uncle?
Uncle Mike.
Oh, yeah.
He got in my face.
He tried to challenge you?
He burned me with a hot power washer.
But
so then I put the hose inside of an overseas container, backed my van up to it. Then he drugged my van out.
Yeah.
And then I was just changing the tire on one of the trucks, and he came over. He's like, I'm tired of this owner's son shit you pull. I was like, dude, what? And he came up in my face. I was like, dude, I'll knock you out.
Nothing's worse. Nothing's worse than the boss's son.
Well, it's funny because he was the boss's
He was
son.
the ultimate boss's son.
Oh, was he?
Yeah. Yeah.
At one
Well,
point,
then both it was a battle of the boss's sons.
sons,
Dude.
But at that
I want
moment,
you
I was
to know,
like,
though,
I'll fucking kill you.
you should watch out. You have that exact boomer energy. You're just going to get older.
I respect everyone, dude.
Yeah, but
I don't
you're gonna
fight.
be-
I don't get in fights.
Someday you're going to be old, and someone's going to be like, I'll fuck you up, and you're going to be like,
And then I'll reach.
right.
Whoa.
You
you
know?
reach the final phase of boomers, where it's gun ownership, and it's like you won't. You won't.
That
fuck
is the
me up.
final
I'll
boomer
shoot you.
stage.
True.
Just you have a gun,
Yeah.
which is the equalizer.
Yeah, I agree.
So then you're going to just threaten death.
Yeah,
to anyone
I'll
who
kill you.
That's true.
You can't lose your honor. You have to threaten death upon anyone that would beat you up.
Yeah, that's how honors usually you take it from somebody else. So yeah.
You gonna get a permit to carry?
I've been thinking about it, but
You can
no,
in
I
New
don't
York,
think-
right?
New York's very difficult.
Yeah.
To get that done.
That fucking pussy Cuomo.
Do you have any advice for the youth out there that might want to step into your shoes?
Number one, I'd say avoid 676 Friday nights early because they've been setting up a ton.
Unhelpful Advice with Bobby, Kalila, and Shane Gillis.
The first question is not a question. It was actually a common request on our Twitter and our social media. People are saying you have an amazing, surprisingly, Donald Trump impression.
Oh.
And they wanted to see if you could teach Bobby how to do the Donald Trump impression. He's tried it a couple times.
Can I hear yours?
I don't have one.
Yeah, you
Try
did
to do
it.
it.
No, you want first. I'll mimic you.
You try. First.
No.
No, you go first.
Well, just give me a sentence
okay.
that he would say, and then maybe I'll try.
Let's go. The greatest country in the world is America.
The greatest country in the world is America.
Okay.
That's terrible.
That was terrible. That was terrible. It was like Marlon Brando.
I know. Well, I mean, say one, do the same line, and maybe I can mimic it.
So you got to do the easiest way to do Trump is like the speech Trump when he's doing a rally. Trump,
Okay.
Because it's just in the back of your throat.
Okay.
The greatest country. That's it.
The greatest country.
Okay.
A little bit.
The greatest country.
Don't do this. Do this.
The greatest country.
Don't move at all. Only move your hand.
All right. Don't move my body.
If you're sitting,
Move your shoulders, just your
all right.
hands.
If you're
The
sitting,
greatest country.
sit like that. If you're sitting.
Don't. First of all, don't. Okay. So sit like this.
Don't.
Yeah. The greatest country.
The best country.
The best country.
Wow, what a country.
Wow, what a country.
A lot of Asians.
A lot of Asians.
Maybe too many Asians.
Maybe too
There
many
might be
Asians.
too many Asians. Yeah,
Maybe too many Asians. I don't know.
that's pretty good.
That was good.
How did you know you were funny when you were young? Did you know you were funny? What was going on with you?
Yeah, I knew I was funny. I was kind of a dickhead growing up, like in school and shit. Yeah, I always had fun making fun of people.
Oh yeah,
talking shit.
When you're young, that's the best way.
I loved it.
Yeah,
yelling.
Yeah.
Class, school. What's better than being funny in school? Farting in class.
I never did it. You did it?
Oh, I used to. Yes.
Wow.
And dude, my one buddy used to fart. Yeah, he used to really do it, and he would come up to you and be like, "It was a funny joke." He would walk up to you and go, "Who do you want me to pass this gas to?" And you go, "You'd pick someone," and he would walk up to their desk, fart on the desk. How fun is that, dude? He used to shit differently.
Uh-huh.
In high school, he would shit different. He would come up a different way to take a shit, and me and all my friends would come in and watch him. Like sometimes he would hold himself up from the top of the stalls and drop it in.
Oh yeah,
he would plank at the top with his ass down.
Ooh.
We got in trouble. A teacher came in. It was like, what the fuck is going on? He was holding himself up. His face was dark red because it was so hard to do, dude. It was hard to do. It was so hard. He would drop like one drop out. We'd be like, yo, let's go. People were screaming. A math teacher came in. It was like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Get out of here. We all had to run.
You're like, divide this bitch. And he's just shitting. Yeah, dude. There is something amazing. Shit is like such magic because it's like you can just make shit come out of your body. It's almost like doing magic, you know?
So you're going to war with teachers? I think it's time. I think that's the right move. Time to start speaking up in parent-teacher conferences.
I will stake a flag on a hill nobody else wants to fucking defend.
But then the problem is then you're the crazy dad, and then Finn gets bullied at school because they get the crazy dad.
Hey, Bubba, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of stuff. We'll see what happens. I'll keep you posted.
Eventually you just pull him out of that fucking school if he gets too crazy.
Yeah. You got to ask yourself what you're willing to fight for.
Yeah.
It's kind of how you
They're just trying to change up shit.
I just think at the end of the day, everybody has something they're willing to fight for, and you define yourself that way. Most of us get to walk around not having to worry about it. Problem with kids is kids make you draw some lines.
Oh, big time.
You know what I'm saying?
But New York crowds are similar.
And yours is fourth grade U.S. history.
This is
you got to believe in something. Christopher Columbus ruled. I'm going to say it.
God damn it.
My kid's not showing up on Christopher Columbus Day. You guys don't celebrate. The Callens do, though.
You know Indians were bad? Did you know that? You know they were great,
too?
I'd like to trans out of this episode. This was something else. Maybe whenever they find this episode and they're like, man, that guy's a piece of shit, I'll be like, I even fucking trans out of that. I'd like to. I identify as not a piece of shit. Actually,
I identify as. I identify as a humanitarian.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, you're racist. It's like, actually, you're going to be shocked to find out I actually identify as not racist.
I've transitioned. I was racist, but now
I identify as crazy left.
Extreme left. So weird. I transitioned from being racist like 5 seconds after you started calling me out for that. Yeah.
I started transitioning. I'm in mid-transition. Are you going to judge me because I can't afford a full transition fast?
You going to dead name me like that? Bring up these episodes? You got dead podcast me like
show Shane your handicap.
I don't know what you're talking. You got a little hitch in your giddy up?
He's like halfway through the Thriller video.
I'm walking back.
Oh shit!
Yeah, there you go.
Oh man, you're doing the stanky leg. You're doing the stanky leg.
You got it.
I didn't like it anyway. I thought it was kind of demeaning, but also like the real way you find out you're ugly also is like the people who it's like, oh, you got a match. And it's like, fuck, this ugly bitch.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I have zero credit, except I never paid my student loans.
But that doesn't.
I defaulted on that.
That doesn't hurt your credit.
It doesn't?
No,
Nice.
Scholastic fucking debt doesn't hurt your credit.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's a great law because that's why people are like, I'm not gonna fucking.
Sure.
Were you gonna clip me for trying to get education so I can get a job?
Yeah.
It is.
All you have to do is not pay it.
Yeah, or you pay a little bit, right?
I paid all of it at once.
Oh, you did.
Yeah, once I got SNL.
How much? Oh, really?
As soon as I got SNL, I bought a Chevy Cruze and paid my student debt.
Ballin'.
And then was back to zero career-wise.
Wait.
1 in 1,000 photos. I'm like, sounds lucky because he joined up with these other fucking fatzos from Staten Island.
You might be the hunk of the group, dude.
He's
you
just
might
a
be the
handsome.